right, so Here, There, and Everywhere by the Beatles, Paul McCartney song off of 1966's Revolver. This is just a fantastic song, like really, really clever how McCartney writes this stuff. It's amazing. His vocabulary of music is just off the charts. And this song really demonstrates that. I was watching a 60 Minutes, I think it was, a while ago, last year, 2018 sometime. And he talked about this song. He said it was the only song that John Lennon actually told him that he liked. And that seemed to really mean a lot to Paul, because those guys, I think, they were pretty competitive about stuff. And I'm sure, it's just unsaid that they loved each other's stuff, but they never really said it. Well, John never really said it. Anyways, so we're in the key of G here. And, my demo at the beginning it's a really simple finger picking style. But let's go over the chords first, okay? So we've got a G to start the song, then we've got a B minor, and then we go to this B flat chord. And right out of the chute, here's a bit of McCartney in there. Like B is not part of, it's not a diatonic chord in the key of G, right? So it's actually a borrowed chord from the parallel minor key of G minor. And I'm sure he didn't know any of this stuff at the time he wrote it, because he never took theory classes or composition or any of this stuff. He just was and is an instinctive songwriter. So G, B minor, then B flat, and then we've got A minor 7, and then D7, and then the song starts. And we go to G, A minor, B minor, C, and we repeat it. The 1 chord, the 2 chord, the 3 chord, the 4 chord, and now he's going to go to this chord, which is an F sharp minor 11. And that's how I played it, because the finger picking, you got to get those notes. I'm sure when they played it, in the studio, they were just playing it like your standard F sharp minor 7. Which is actually problematic because of that C sharp in there. You've got that dissonance with the melody. So if you take that fifth out of there, it's better. And we'll get into that more later. And then we go to this B7, F sharp minor 11. And when you're putting your finger there, you're actually changing that from an F sharp minor 11 to an F sharp minor 7 flat 5, or an F sharp half diminished, which is the 7 chord in the key of G, right? So, and then B7. So with that B7, that's also not a diatonic chord in the key of G. That is now setting you up to go to E minor, which is the next chord, because that's a 5 chord in E minor. And I'm actually putting this little part here in after the fact, because I forgot to mention that where I think he got that change from. Changing my life with a wave of her hand, which is such a cool change. I think he got it from Yesterday, because today all my troubles seem so far away, right? It's the exact same thing. Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. So I think McCartney was actually stealing from himself there. Anyways, I wanted to mention that because it kind of just dawned on me the other day, because I've always thought about, like, where did he come up with that? Where did he get that idea from? And I think he originally got the idea in Yesterday, and he just stole it from himself. So then E minor, and then A minor, A minor 7, D, and then back to G. Now, in the bridge, we're going to play that chord there, which is, we're barring on the first fret, and then we're going to get, like, I'm just leaving my finger here from the D7 and hitting my third finger on G3 and getting that note there. So we've got an F7 sus4. Everywhere. So now we're into B flat, right? Because that F7 is, you put the sus in there, but it's the 5 chord of B flat. So that's now taking us into the key B flat. 1, 2, everywhere. And then we go G minor, and then C minor, and then we actually have a D7, G minor, C minor, then we're back into, and you could just, you could just strum those chords and sing it. You'd be fine. Okay, so now let's get into what I did as far as the finger picking goes. So we're gonna start like this. All right, so we're just gonna pinch on the G string and the E string to start. You could go strum it, and then we're gonna go just D, G, and B. It's like an arpeggio. And then we go to the B minor, and I just rake my thumb across that. And now we got the B flat, and I'm just gonna pick the G and B with my 2 fingers and the A string with my thumb. Then arpeggio again. Now that B flat, luckily, I've said this in some of my other videos, like, I can bend my finger, my 3rd finger will bend, like so. It's kind of gimpy, but it really helps because I can fret that and have enough clearance where I can get that note to sound. If you can't do that, you have to do that. And that's just, right, A string, D string, and then plucking G, B, and E with these 3 fingers. Same on the D. And then we start. Basically, I'm going with my thumb. E string and D string, and I'm hitting that 1st finger on the G, open G string, and then hitting the G and B with the 1st and 2nd fingers, and that's going to be a recurring pattern as we go along. We do the exact same thing but on an A minor 7 chord because we want to keep that G ringing. Now we're going to come up to here, and instead of doing it like that, I'm just going to do it like that to keep this little finger free so I can hit this note here. That's the A note on E5, and then we go to a C, but we're going to hit G on E3 when we hit that C chord. And then B1, open E to B3 while letting the open E ring. So we're going from the high E string 5th fret to the high E string 3rd fret. And I want to leave that open E ringing so we get that. So far, repeats. But now this time on the B minor, I'm going to go. Okay, and I had a lot of different ways of doing that, but I settle on that. We got the B minor, and I'm raking with my thumb, and then I slide up 1 fret with my little finger, and then you've got, so we got. Got that kind of wacky chord there. And then I'm going to put my middle finger on the C note on A3. Then I'm going to go, and this gets a little bit clumsy here, a little awkward, but it's not too bad. Holding that. And then I'm going to slide that down one fret, because I can hold that note, right? So you get all that ringing, you know. I think that sounds really nice. And now I'm going to put my third finger on D2 while I'm holding the, you know, that and that, right? So we got first finger on G2, second finger on E2, and third finger on D2. And now I'm going to get all three fingers on D, G, and B strings. Now that, you know, that's there. I know you can't see because my fingers are covering it up, but there, there, and there. Now the last one, you can't hit all three fingers, you're going to have to hit the B string. Because we're lifting our hand off to make the chord change, but we have to have something ringing, and that'll be the B string. And then we hit the B7, just arpeggiate it basically. Well, thumb on the B, or on the A and the D string. Three fingers on G, B, and E. Now, we're going to go to this, which is just an easier way of that chord. And we're just going to little finger G2, third finger D2, and second finger E2. So from the B7, then exact same picking. But you can go 3, 3, 3, 1, just the B string. Now we're changing to the E minor, but we don't even need to play the E minor. And then we've got, this is kind of like the A minor, but the melody is singing this note, the sixth. So we're hitting those two notes, B1 and E2. So from here, and then take that finger off and just have open E, then A minor to D7. And that's basically the first bit. So let's do that whole thing. Alright, so now let's go into the bridge. So bridge comes out of here. It's such a cool chord change. Because now, you know, McCartney is now changing to keys, to B flat, right? So he's preceding the B flat with its fifth, which is like the F7. But we've also got a suspension in there. So we're going to bar the first fret, and we're going to pluck this note, well, actually going to be that note. Like I just leave my finger there from the D7. So we've got the low E, D1, and G3 hitting that note there. And then the bass is just going like that. And we hit the G minor and our bass is going to go. And now we've got a C minor. Bass is just alternating again. And this is going to be like a D7, but we're not going to play the whole chord because we just need these notes. And I'm playing like fours on the open D. Then we go to this G minor, but I'm just going to play it like this. And I'm going to try and put in that guitar fill that George did there. Thumb on that D string. While doing fours on that G string. That's a little bit screwy to get that into your head. I might take a few whirls at that. Now we repeat it. Except I just do one bass note there. And I kind of slid in there, which is a little bit on the cheesy side. But I kind of liked it. And we're back into the verse. All right, so let's go over that bridge slowly. Okay, and that is pretty well the whole song, except for the ending, which is to be here. So we're just playing a full B minor chord there. And then okay, and that is it. So let's just play the whole thing once through. Okay, and that's it. Really, really cool song. Great songwriting by McCartney. And, you know, once you get the hang of of this sort of finger picking feel, this will actually be quite easy to play. All right, that's it for this one. I hope you get something out of it. I hope you enjoy playing it, and we'll talk to you next time.